Here's your KNDY updated weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times, with fog in spots early today, with daytime highs approaching 58. Southeasterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overcast tonight, lows dip down to about 40. I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Right now, it's 37 degrees.
Kansas Mid-America Network News, I'm Andy Hoosier. Well, it was a big election night across the state of Kansas, and Kansas wraps up with, again, 3 congressional Republicans heading to Washington, D.C. after the open 2nd Congressional District, as Republican and former Attorney General Derek Schmidt ends up beating the Democrat challenger Nancy Boyd in that race 56-39 overall, winning with more than 50,000 more votes than the Democrat challenger. In the 1st Congressional District for the western part of the state, Congressman Tracy Mann wins his reelection bid over the Democrat challenger with a 69-30 victory. And the 4th Congressional District, Congressman Ron Estes wins over the Democrat challenger as well, 64-35 overall. One Democrat does remain in the congressional delegation from Kansas, as the 3rd District's Reese Davids ends up winning over the Republican challenger 53-42. Overall, across the state, Republican Donald Trump ended up winning for the state of Kansas in the presidential bid over Kamala Harris 56-41.
Do you suffer from numbness, tingling, burning, or cramping in your feet, hands, or legs? Midwest Pain Relief Center is effectively treating many cases with these exact symptoms, helping patients find relief without endless medications. If you're someone who deals with any of these symptoms, our program could be the answer you're looking for. Call today to schedule a consultation at 620-478-2878. That's 620-478-2878. You can visit our website at MidwestPainReliefCenter.com. Midwest Pain Relief Center, preserving joints and restoring lives.
Your home for all the latest in Kansas, regional, and national agricultural news is the Mid-America Ag Network. I'm your farm broadcaster, Sam Speck. Join me daily for the latest ag news, statewide weather, and hourly commodity market updates. Also join agriculture radio legend Larry Steckline both Tuesdays and Fridays for a deep dive into the world of agriculture with the Steckline Report. The Mid-America Ag Network has been a 7-state region trusted source for everything in the world of agriculture for nearly 50 years. So join us daily through our many great affiliates on the Mid-America Ag Network.
As we get into the trifecta of the holiday season for the end of the year, Humankind Ministries kicked off their Operation Holiday for 2024, saying that they are taking basic needs, including food, blankets, children's coats, pet food, and more for those in need around the state of Kansas.
Today we're at the Operation Holiday Warehouse.
I'm just stocking soups, the grains, whatever they need.
We've got lots of volunteers here who are preparing for distribution.
I just heard that it was a lot of fun, and I know that we're helping people.
So they're getting the food ready.
I used to have to come through and get some of this stuff, and I know it really helps, so I want to be able to help some more families.
I feel like I'm giving back.
I think this is a really great cause, and I just felt like they could use my help.
Growing up in Wichita, it means a lot to give back with Humankind Ministries through Operation Holiday, through our shelters, everything like that, because I've seen the impact.
I'm just trying to get all this food on here because I don't want Jazz to catch up to me. I am responsible for the fruit. I'm just enjoying folding boxes.
Mid-America Network News.
Danes Automotive and Tire in Waterville and Marysville is your reliable automotive repair shop. Servicing engines and transmissions, ACs, radiators, exhaust, and diagnostic checks. Did you know Danes does tires? Carrying all major brands and sizes from trucks, ATVs, trailer, and farm implements, Danes Automotive and Tire has you covered. With over 85 years combined experience, your locally owned and trusted repair and tire shop is Danes Automotive and Tire in Waterville and Marysville.
Nebraska Mid-America Network News. I'm Andy Hoosier. It's the first time of actually having an election for the U.S. Senate, but Nebraska U.S. Senator Pete Ricketts officially finished the job by starting with his first run for office back in 2006, winning the election for the U.S. Senate over the Democrat challenger Preston Love Jr., an Omaha Democrat. Ricketts won the election on Tuesday night handily over Preston Love with a 60-39 victory. It was also a big flip for the U.S. Senate with a Nebraska election, with Deb Fischer, the Republican, ended up winning that open U.S. Senate seat 52-48, beating out the nonpartisan Dan Osborne. On some of the ballot measures across the state of Nebraska, when it came to prohibiting abortion past the first trimester, that vote did come in with a victory of 53-47. With Initiative 436 that required paid sick leave, that one did pass as well, 74-26. And legalizing medical marijuana was a big victory across the state with a 71-29 victory. Nebraska, Mid-America Network News, I'm Andy Hoosier.
Hello and thank you for calling. Our operators are busy at the moment. Please hold the line and we will answer you shortly.
Stop the madness! With Blue Valley, there's less time on hold, more time together. Blue Valley Technologies offers reliable internet that works when you need it. And if there's an issue, we have local customer support that will make sure you're back online in no time. Find out more at bluevalley.net.
Reporting local news, I'm Bruce Deerking. In a race too close to call, extension of a half-cent sales tax in Marshall County toward operations at Community Memorial Healthcare trails after election night by just 8 votes. 2,325 voted no, 2,317 yes. There are 164 provisional ballots to be counted, and mail-in ballots postmarked Election Day could also affect the eventual outcome. As it stands with all 30 precincts reporting in Marshall County, the hospital sales tax trails by 8 votes with 4,642 counted. It will likely come down to a canvass of ballots by county commissioners to decide the final total. That's slated for their November 14th meeting. A write-in bid for incumbent Washington County Commissioner David Wilbrandt falls short, with Arthur Schottel winning both the August primary and the general election Tuesday. Schottel carried 74% of the votes, 604 to 214. Nemaha County voters Tuesday resoundingly approved an extension of a half-cent countywide sales tax toward Nemaha Valley and Sabetha Community Hospitals, with 70% voting yes on that measure. For 2nd District, Nemaha County Commissioner Jason P. Cook defeats Angela Dieters Harkins with 66% of ballots cast. In Gage County, Rex Adams won over incumbent Don Schuler for 6th District Board Supervisor in a close race with 53% of votes, 724 to 708. Henrik Claiborne seats Dave Swavely, taking 69% of ballots. Turnout over 75% in Gage County, nearly half voting early. Marshall County turnout for registered voters was 68.7%. Donald Trump carried 73% of Marshall County with effectively no other contested races in the general election. Washington County carried 84% for President Trump, Nemaha County 83%, and in Gage County, Trump prevailed with 69% of votes. Nemaha County commissioners will meet in special session on Thursday at 1 p.m. to further discuss health insurance options for 2025 for county employees. City of Beatrice will hold an open house Thursday to outline efforts to remediate brownfield contamination, leading to demolition of the former Dempster plant in South Beatrice. That facility has been closed several years after ownership changes. Cleanup, timeline, and safety measures will all be covered. The public may come and go Thursday 4 until 6 p.m. at the Beatrice Public Library. Warren H. Wimpy Blasky, age 79, of Lynn, passed away. Graveside service Thursday 10:30 at the Fancy Creek Cemetery at Randolph. Visitation Wednesday 4 until 8. Family will receive friends Wednesday from 5 until 7 at the Ward Funeral Home in Lynn, in charge of arrangements for Warren Wimpy Blasky. Joan D. Payshaw, age 94, of Hanover, passed away. Massive Christian burial Friday 10:30 at St. John's Catholic Church, Hanover. Burial in the church cemetery. Visitation Thursday begins at 4:30 at the church, with a rosary to follow at 7. Hanover Mortuary in charge of arrangements for Joan Payshaw. Nancy J. Zuniga, age 67, of Centralia, passed away Thursday. Funeral services planned Friday 11:30 at the Centralia Community Church West, interment in the Centralia Cemetery. Visitation Thursday 8 until 5:30. Family will receive friends Thursday 5:30 until 7 at the Popkus Memorial Chapel of Seneca, in charge of arrangements for Nancy Zuniga. On the Marshall County Senior Citizens Lunch menu today, a Polish dog, seasoned mashed potatoes, sauerkraut, peas and pearl onions, and fruit cocktail. Tomorrow, a sloppy joe with baked beans, coleslaw, strawberries, and bananas. KNDY News Time, 7:13.
With United Bank and Trust online banking, you have access to your hometown bank 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year at ubankonline.com. You can view account balances, access statements, and transfer money between your UBT accounts. You can also view account activity, pay bills, and even make loan payments without being limited by banking hours. Simply visit ubankonline.com to learn more. Online banking with United Bank and Trust. It's banking for your way of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's your KNDY weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. Partly sunny skies today with our highs in the mid to upper 50s, staying mostly cloudy overnight tonight with our lows in the mid 30s and lower 40s. Mostly sunny skies throughout the day on Thursday with our highs in the lower to upper 50s, and a slight chance for some rain showers throughout Thursday night, otherwise mostly cloudy with our lows in the mid 30s and lower 40s. Rain showers may continue into Friday, otherwise mostly cloudy with our highs in the upper 40s and lower 50s. Then scattered rain showers are possible into Friday night, mostly cloudy with our lows in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Some rain showers are likely throughout the day on Saturday, mostly cloudy with our highs in the mid 40s and lower 50s. Then partly cloudy skies throughout Saturday night with our lows in the mid to upper 30s. Staying sunny into Sunday with our highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s, and mostly clear skies throughout Sunday night with our lows in the lower to upper 30s. More sunshine as we head into Monday, a bit warmer with our highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s, and partly cloudy skies throughout Monday night with our lows in the mid to upper 30s, and more sunshine on Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster.
Average high temperature early November, 59. Record high in this date, 85. The average low, 35. And the record low, 11 degrees. Sunset this evening, 5:21. Sunrise in the morning at 7:01. Could be some fog, but sun's out here at studios in Marysville. It's 37 degrees. That's a check of the morning news and weather for this Wednesday, the 6th of November. KNDY News Time, 7:15. I'm Bruce Dierking reporting.
Medicare open enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. This year, it is very important to review your coverage as the Inflation Reduction Act has capped beneficiary out-of-pocket costs at $2,000 and added new programs to help pay out-of-pocket costs over time. Stop by Reed Insurance at 815 Broadway in downtown Marysville or reach me, Morgan Reed, at 785-727-4655. Find your coverage your way with Reed Insurance.
Calling all Marysville alumni, the Bulldog Black and Red Social is your chance to reconnect, reminisce, and celebrate the legacy we all share. Join us November 29th for a fun night filled with music, good food, and Bulldog pride. Whether you're in the class of 1984 or class of 2004, this event's for you. Tickets are available now for just $25 or $20 if you're 55 plus. For ticket information, visit our Facebook page and get yours before November 22nd. Let's come together and make this night unforgettable.
The votes are in, at least for this week. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Oregon, no surprise, number one in the initial college football playoff ranking released yesterday. Ohio State, number 2, followed by Georgia at number 3.
There was a lot of thorough discussion about both teams and their performances on the field. And so you're right. I mean, those things we took into consideration as a part of the discussion. And ultimately, the vote, when it came out, Ohio State was ranked number 2 and Georgia was 3.
Selection Committee Chairman Ward Manuel. Of note, Indiana sitting at number 8, Notre Dame at 10, Alabama ranked 11th in the initial list from the committee. NFL Week 10 gets underway with the Bengals and Ravens tomorrow. Yesterday, the NFL trade deadline, Washington lands cornerback Marshawn Lattimore in a deal with the Saints. Lions acquired defensive end Zadarius Smith from the Browns. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says Dak Prescott likely to be on IR with his strained hamstring. NBA was idle last night. A dozen games tonight. Cavaliers and Thunder both seeing action, the two remaining unbeaten teams. Sixers are in LA to face the Clippers. Philly learning Joel Embiid is suspended 3 games for last weekend's incident with a columnist from the Philadelphia Inquirer. On the ice, the Flyers lose again. They fall to the Hurricanes, who get the game-winning goal with 30 seconds to go. Austin Matthews does not play for Toronto, but they beat Boston 4-0. Flames rally to beat Montreal. Matt Coronado gets the game-tying goal in the third, and then
the puck's dropped, and we've started overtime. Suzuki loses his stick. Coronado shoots the puck and scores! Matt Coronado, the hero here in La Belle Provence. He scores the game-tying goal with 2 minutes and 46 seconds left, and he scores the game winner 7 seconds into overtime.
Fastest overtime goal in Flames history. Sportsnet 960 The Fan. Blues 3-2 over the Lightning. Shohei Ohtani's had surgery on his injured shoulder. Will be ready for spring training.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen 1 too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The idea of purchasing a new livestock, grain, or utility trailer is a major one. Take stress out of the picture by visiting BlueValleyTrailers.com to browse the Midwest's largest selection of Titan, H&H, Wilson, Sharp, and Travelong trailers. From your home or on your phone, visit BlueValleyTrailers.com to find specifications, pricing, and accurate pictures of the exact trailer you're planning to buy. With sales and service unmatched, find Blue Valley Trailers in Waterville or give them a call at 785-363-2224.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. Investors like what they've seen in overnight election returns. Dow futures before the opening bell were up more than 1,100 points and pushing toward 44,000. NASDAQ futures surged 1.75%. S&P futures by over 2%. Shares in former President Donald Trump's media company predictably pushed higher in early trading. Trump Media and Technology Group, the parent to Truth Social, surged to $51 a share in pre-market activity. Down the ballot from the presidential contest, fans of cryptocurrency are celebrating the results of the Ohio Senate race. Blockchain entrepreneur Bernie Moreno has knocked off Democratic incumbent Sherrod Brown. Toyota is putting the brakes on its sales forecast after weaker sales cut second quarter profit by more than half. The carmaker reported just under $3.8 billion in profits, its first quarterly operating profit drop in about 2 years. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Good Wednesday morning. Sam Speck with your latest market information here on the Mid-America Ag Network. Well, as we inch closer to yet another day of trade here on this Wednesday, now November 6th of 2024, we will, of course, go through the overnight pre-trade session, but from yesterday, it was a higher finish in the grains and the oil seeds. We might see some evening out today. Kind of a mixed, choppy day of trade in the livestock, though. December live cattle down 30 cents at 184.77. February up 2 cents at 185.95. Same story for the feeder cattle. November feeders down 20 cents to 246.15. January down 7 at 242.35, but slight gains beyond that. But nothing but red for the hogs. December lean hogs down 210 at 81.12. February down 82 at 84.50. Into the grains and oil seeds now. Some pressure in the wheat market. Chicago, spring, and Kansas City wheat giving up much of earlier week gains as we see December Kansas City wheat up or down 9 rather at 567 3/4. March is down 9 1/4 at 579 3/4, and oats are also down. December oats to 385. That's 6 1/4 cent lower. Into the row crops now. Corn a few cents in the red. December corn down 2.5 at 416. March down 3 at 429. Soybeans though taking the biggest punch to the gut this morning. Again, this is just indicative as to what maybe traders are thinking of before the opening bell. Not much movement, but this is pretty significant. November soybeans down 20 3/4 to 973. January's down 18 3/4 to 983. The meal down 610 to 293.50, and soy oil down 9 at 44.90. Cotton also lower with December down 45 at 69.50. Energy markets are lower. Crude oil down 117 at 70.82 per barrel. Unleaded gas down 3 cents at $2 a gallon. Heating oil down 3 at 226, though natural gas is up 3 at 270. And the dollar index up 192 at 105.245. Sam Speck of the Mid-America Ag Network.
From Kansas State University, this is Agriculture Today. I'm Shelby Varner. This time of year is when people should look into controlling prairie dogs, says K-State wildlife specialist Drew Ricketts. He explains the options available for use in only rangeland settings because it is important to not use them in crop fields due to concern of them being accidentally mixed into the food supply.
The two most popular toxicants that are used for prairie dog control are chlorofascinone and difascinone. Those are the active ingredients. People would more commonly know those products by Rosol and Caput D. The other product that's a common toxicant would be zinc phosphide. Zinc phosphide is labeled for use from July through January, but folks tend to find that it's a little bit less effective than the other two products. Those two products opened up on October 1st, and they are available for use from October 1st until March 15th. So those products are, like I said, the most effective options and the most common options for controlling prairie dogs in rangeland settings.
Ricketts says what makes management in the fall and winter months more effective.
When we're controlling prairie dogs with the toxicants, they tend to be most effective when food is least available, so during the non-growing season, and also they can be really, really effective when we have a big cold front coming through. We're going to have weather that makes food not available or that makes it to where the prairie dogs want to stay down in the ground and not come out.
He discusses methods that should be looked into for prairie dog control near crop fields.
So we've got prairie dogs that are in rangelands adjacent to wheat fields, and they start encroaching out into those wheat fields because, let's face it, that green growing wheat it's a grass, and it's palatable, it's nutritious, and so those prairie dogs want to eat that. The challenge here is that we have to focus on either trapping, shooting, or fumigants. Trapping prairie dogs is pretty time-consuming, but it can be very effective. I'd be glad to show folks about that if they're interested. We're not talking about recreational shooting here. We're talking about very directed, sort of tactical shooting. And then for the fumigants, the main options are going to be aluminum phosphide, magnesium phosphide, or poisonous gas cartridges. And it's very important that folks remember or know that in Kansas we have what's called a prairie dog control permit. And that permit is required to use fumigants for control of any wildlife in the state of Kansas.
That was K-State wildlife specialist Drew Ricketts on ways that people can reduce prairie dogs on their land. I'm Shelby Varner, and this has been Agriculture Today over the K-State Radio Network.
Once you plant Pioneer brand Z-Series soybeans in your field, harvest will never be the same. Enter a new era of performance and join farmers everywhere, yielding an additional 2.7 bushels per acre over A-Series. Unleash your greatest harvest yet with Pioneer brand Z-Series soybeans. Call me, Thad Argenbright, at 785-313-3064 and find out why. With Pioneer from Performance Ag, you always get more than a bag of seed.
November is a busy month for our feathered friends. We will share a few bird watching highlights today on the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report.
If you're a farmer or rancher, chances are you've thought about joining Kansas Farm Bureau. So, what's stopping you? Your membership gives you access to the state's largest and most influential advocacy organization, the Voice of Agriculture in Topeka, Washington, D.C., and counties across the state. You'll also be helping build strong, prosperous communities through agriculture advocacy and education. Join us today. Visit kfb.org/farmer-rancher to learn more.
In August of last year, Kansan Audra Clark was involved in a motor vehicle accident. While she only suffered some bumps and bruises, scan results indicated she had 2 masses on her brain. She is the single mother of 4 beautiful children, and her quest continues to become a registered nurse. We ask for your prayers for Audra, and if you would, please donate to assist her in this medical fight. Visit Audra Support Squad on Facebook. That is Audra Support Squad. Again, Audra Support Squad. This message of support is organized by Justin Clark and Lindsay Meyer. With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Wednesday, November 6th, the 311th day of the year. Composer and conductor John Philip Sousa was born on this day, and a patent for the electric shaver was awarded to Jacob Schick on this day in 1928. November can be a fun month for bird watching enthusiasts. It's a good time of year for rare sightings. Migrating birds often get blown off course or simply fly in the wrong direction. East Coast species can end up in the west and vice versa. Even wrong-way strays from other continents have been spotted from time to time. Winter finches may begin to appear at backyard feeders this month as well. And if a snowy owl interruption is coming to your neck of the woods, well, early sightings can be found in open fields and near lake shores. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Check out our backyard birding info online at almanac.com.
728 from KNDY. City of Blue Rapids advising they'll inspect the water tower today. There may be pressure changes, no water restrictions. However, pressures could vary at your location today in the city of Blue Rapids. Sunshine 37 degrees. Highs around 60. Maintain the better part of this week ahead.
Kansas Mid-America Network Sports, I'm Andy Hoosier. It was a big game number 1 for the Kansas State Wildcats basketball team as they ended up starting off the season strong, beating the New Orleans Privateers with an 89-65 victory last night. It was a strong start for the Wildcats as they went into the half up over the Privateers 44-32, putting another 45 points on the board in the second half of the game. It was a big night for number 1, David Nagusin, as he ended up putting 21 points on the board with 15 rebounds and 2 assists throughout the game. Brendan Hawson also had 17 points for the night with 3 rebounds and 1 assist. Max Jones also had 19 points for the night, 8 points for Christian Jones, and 5 points for Coleman Hawkins. Kansas State stays at home in Lawrence as they go into their next game number 2 on Saturday, where they tip off at 3 p.m. as they go up against the Cleveland State Vikings. The Kansas Jayhawks go into their game number 2 on Friday with tip-off at 6 p.m. against UNC. Kansas Mid-America Network Sports, I'm Andy Hoosier.
You're tuned in to the TVL Rundown, a comprehensive weekly look at the athletics inside the Twin Valley League. The TVL Rundown is a service of B&D Buildings in Axtell and the Citizens National Bank in Greenleaf.
B&D Buildings of Axtell specializes in post-frame buildings. Give them a call for stud-frame buildings with complete concrete and electrical work included. It's one call to get the job done. B&D Buildings, specializing in post-frame building construction, plus repairs and more. Always free estimates. Give them a call. B&D Buildings of Axtell, 785-294-0147. B&D Buildings at 785-294-0147.
Another reason to make the Citizens National Bank your bank. With a century of experience, you know you can count on us for convenient banking and personal service for people you know and trust. With extended hours and online banking for all your financial needs. Another reason to make the Citizens National Bank your bank.
Welcome into the TVL Rundown with Jeff Wertz of the TVL Spotlight, Max Blasky of KNDY Radio. Jeff, it was a busy weekend in the state of Kansas. State volleyball, state cross country, and playoff football started, but we're going to start our congratulations to the area volleyball teams. We're going to start first in Class 1A Division II, where you happened to get the call as the Hanover Lady Wildcats claim the 2024 1A Division II State Volleyball Championship.
Yes, congratulations to Melissa Hawley and the Hanover Lady Wildcats. What just an entire postseason that they've had, and they showed up at the very end. You could tell the teams that were a little dragging at the end. You could tell that who had tired legs, and you could tell that Hanover was on their game, and they proved it up until the final set, the final point. They were just absolutely terrific in that last game.
And what another dominating year, 42-1 for a Wildcats team, your TVL tournament champions, regular season champions, and another trophy there in Hanover. And the Valley Heights Lady Mustangs, a second-place finish in Class 2A out at Dodge City. I had the chance to call them on their, I'm going to call it historic run, their first championship game since 2001. And I think, Jeff, you mentioned before we went into state last week that the Mustangs had an opportunity to make some noise, and that they did.
I've never seen a more athletic group than Valley Heights this year. Just the athleticism. Strike out the volleyball prowess, the intelligence that they have. The pure athleticism that those players have is what got them there.
And again, it seems like a younger team, a group of core juniors that plays second. I think to, again, keep an eye out for the Mustangs next year. Elsewhere across the league, two other area teams that had an opportunity there at state. The Centralia Lady Panthers finished second in Class 1A Division I, while the Clifton Clyde Eagles finished third. Overall, 4 pieces of hardware coming back from the TVL in 3 different classifications after state volleyball last weekend. Again, just to wrap it up, I think it was an unbelievable weekend for the TVL.
It really was, and I couldn't be more proud. I said this on my own show yesterday. I couldn't be more proud than I am after seeing all of these volleyball teams make it and knowing we still have football coming up where we're going to see some teams make deep runs as well. This may be one of the best seasons that I've seen in a long time from all of the sports.
We were joking a little bit earlier. Us media people sure are tired, but it's a fun time of season. And not to be outdone either there. Last Saturday, it was state cross country. I know had many area qualifiers from a lot of TVL schools. I think a few finishers in the team standings. Looking at it real quick, Axtell boys finished 8th. Centralia boys finished 10th. Clifton Clyde right there at 9th too. And some good runs individually. Was there someone that stood out, or I guess a storyline from state cross country that stood out for you, Jeff, this last weekend?
Well, can I pass along a story that I didn't really even know until yesterday morning? And it has nothing to do with how they finished. This was printed by Sports in Kansas. We'll go ahead and give them the credit. Torrent Engelken of Centralia, in the middle of the 1A race at Wamego, saw a runner fall, and Torrent helped him cross the finish line. Neither of them were in a competitive spot to get points for their team, but above and beyond sports, this was just great sportsmanship.
A part of sports that often gets, I think, overlooked is the sportsmanship that makes a sport. But I know over the course of years, many comments are made at state tournaments and stories like this that bring to light just the quality of kids that are in the TVL. And quickly turning our attention to the football field as high school playoffs marches on this weekend. Games on slate. Centralia will host Olpe on Friday night. Valley Heights hosts Sterling on our KNDY game of the week on FM 95.5, while over on the 8-man side of the bracket, Axtell hosts Rural Vista, Clifton Clyde hosting Oswego, Hanover will be at Burlingame, and Frankfort will be at Marmaton Valley. Jeff, I think many of these teams have an opportunity to move on, but what's going to be a team that you're keeping an eye on this Friday night?
The matchup that I really like is that Clifton Clyde Oswego game. I also have a lot of eyes on Valley Heights and Sterling. Those two matchups are, I think, much closer than people would imagine, but those are the two that I'm really looking at, Clifton Clyde and Oswego, and then the Valley Heights Mustangs taking on 6-3 Sterling.
And as always, we'll chat more about that next week as we get wrapped up with the TVL Rundown. Again, for Jeff Wirtz, this has been Max Blasky. This has been the TVL Rundown. You've been tuned in to the TVL Rundown, a weekly comprehensive look at the athletics inside the Twin Valley League. The TVL Rundown is a service of B&D Buildings in Axtell and the Citizens National Bank in Greenleaf.
KNDY